Hey guys, it's Tom here, coming at you with yet another video. Today I'll be reviewing X-Men Days of Future Past, which came out last summer, summer of 2014. Before I start the review, I just want to kind of give you my background on superheroes and comic books and my relationship with the X-Men. Growing up, I was a huge comic book fan. I used to read a lot of comic books. And my favorite, of the two big companies, Marvel and DC, Marvel was my favorite. My favorite comics from Marvel were Spider-Man, The Avengers, and Thunderbolts, which isn't they haven't made a movie out of yet. Not yet. Maybe someday because they're mining all the material. But no, I did. I didn't just read Marvel though. I read DC comic books and Image, and some other companies like Dark Horse, and other companies that probably no longer exist. I read a lot of stuff. I used to, for me, like the main part of the main attraction of going to the comic book store was just to look around and see all the stuff, all the comics. I didn't just go there to buy one thing and then leave. I wanted to explore, all the imagination. Here's the thing though, even though I read a lot of comics, I didn't read a lot of X-Men comics, which isn't to say that I didn't like the X-Men. I was really into the 90s animated series, the cartoon. I really liked that. That was really good. I have all the episodes on DVD. I haven't watched them though in a while. So, and I love the toys and the video games. I think the toys were by Toy Biz, but they made a lot of X-Men toys, and I know they were very successful. Well, they were successful for a while. I know eventually they produced so many toys that I think it like ruined Toy Biz, or yeah, I know I think because eventually they went all in and just made way too many toys, kind of overestimated the popularity of the X-Men. But no, I like the toys and the video games and the cartoon. For me, that was my main exposure to X-Men. I had a few of the comics, but not a lot. I was more of an Avengers guy and other titles. Yeah, and the Bryan Singer X-Men movies, I liked them when they first came out. I remember it was with the first one came out. What was it? Like the late '90s. I thought it was really exciting to see an X-Men movie. It was really surprising that Hollywood was going to try to make an X-Men movie. It's kind of an ambitious thing to do, but they did it, and the movie doesn't hold up as well today. But I think it's not bad. I think Singer did a good job overall. I know he didn't have much money to make the movie, or probably really the sequel to it. They're probably limited budget, but I think he did pretty well. And the movies, you can watch them. They're not horrible. In fact, I know. How do I put this? I know a lot of people hate X-Men 3. Is it the Last Stand? Yeah, I didn't really think that movie was that bad. I don't really understand why people hate it so much. It is funny. It's cheesy. There's some goofy dialogue, and it was the thing I didn't like was it killed off some of the characters. I really didn't, because the movies were successful, so they're going to make more. Because these are really popular characters. X-Men's comic book institution, so they're going to want to mine it more. So why kill off some of the main characters? I don't know. But really, and the important thing about the first X-Men movie was it kind of popularized the superhero movie genre. And so we're in kind of celebrating a renaissance of just movie after movie based on comic book superheroes. So it's X-Men had a lot. The success of the first X-Men movie had a lot to do with that. Yeah, movie came out last year. I didn't have a chance to watch it, so I just saw it like a few days ago, and I was happy with the movie, and I'll kind of talk more about that. Now I'll talk about the kind of the synopsis. The movie takes place partly in the future, where we see the X-Men facing tough times. A war with highly advanced robots called Sentinels has wiped out nearly all mutants and humans alike. These are bleak times, and the surviving X-Men are in a constant struggle to stay one step ahead of their inhuman pursuers. Eventually, the mutants decide to send Wolverine into the past so he can prevent this grim future. and a battle that will bring together lifelong enemies Professor X and Magneto. I like this movie about as much as I liked the last X-Men movie, which was X-Men First Class. They seem pretty similar in quality. They're both solid movies, but they're not as good as Marvel Studios movies, in my opinion. I mean, you can First Class and Days of Future Past. They're enjoyable movies, but they're not as good as the Avengers. They're not as good as Iron Man, or especially probably my favorite Marvel movie now is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I love that movie, and this is nowhere near as good as that. Fox does moderately good work with their franchise, but they're no Marvel Studios. That's for sure. I didn't find a lot of flaws with the movie. I mean, the plot's pretty silly. I mean, like the explanation for why they chose Wolverine to send into the past, and like, I didn't know Kitty Pryde, a Shadow Cat. I didn't even know she could send people into the past. I didn't know she had like time travel powers. I don't. Did I miss something? I thought she could just walk through walls and stuff. I don't know why she's sending people into the past. And they chose Wolverine because of his healing factor. His mind could handle the stress of being sent into the past because his mind, like the rest of his body, can heal very quickly. And that was kind of like, what? It was kind of silly, but it's an X-Men movie, so you gotta, people with powers. It's kind of dumb, but that was like, I mean, they could have. I think they probably could have had a better script, better story. But in the movie, it was fun enough. It was enjoyable enough, so I didn't really mind the goofy story that much. The only like other real problem I had with the movie was it focused on Mystique, and the thing is, Mystique hasn't been that important of a character. And it focused on this kind of like this love triangle between her and Professor X and Magneto, and I don't really recall that being in First Class. I don't really. Well, there was. And the movie did kind of focus on her relationship with Professor X and Magneto a little bit, but it really to kind of take that and then to make it like the center of the sequel seems strange to me and kind of forced. And I literally, when I was watching the movie, I kept asking myself, at what point did Mystique become such an important character? Because it really, she's not, she's kind of a background character. I don't know, it felt weird to me, and them playing up like the love triangle really didn't feel right to me. I don't know, it just, because it wasn't really a big deal in the first one. The effects and action are a lot of fun. Like probably the most fun I had watching this movie was watching the Sentinels just wipe out the X-Men because you get to see that a couple times. It's just really intense battles between these. Well, the Sentinels in the future are really advanced. They basically have they have Mystique's DNA in them, and so they can adapt to basically anything, any situation, any of their powers. The X-Men can throw at the Sentinels. The Sentinels can adapt to. Kind of like the Borg from Star Trek, but I don't want to be too geeky here. Yeah, there's some new characters. They have Bishop, Sunspot, who didn't look Japanese in this. I thought the whole idea was he was a Japanese character. He looked like Latino or Hispanic to me. It's like, well, if you're going to have Sunspot, why not just get an Asian actor? I don't get it. It had Warpath. Although he looked like he either was Native American or he could have been, and it had Blink. She was Asian, so that's okay. I don't know if the character in the comics is Asian, but Blink was played by an Asian actress. I don't know why I'm even talking about this. And probably my favorite part of the movie has to do with Quicksilver, because this movie introduces Quicksilver, who if you know the lore of the comic books, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are the children of Magneto, and the movie kind of pokes fun at that. There's a scene where Quicksilver says, I think someone's talking about Magneto, and he has the power to control metal, and Quicksilver says, "Oh yeah, I think my mom used to know a guy like that." But no, the Quicksilver, they actually they go to him because they need him to break Magneto out of prison. He's being held. It's not regular prison. It's some super secret facility. So they have to break him out. And the sequence with Quicksilver is great. Probably the highlight of the movie. And I know Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, or Avengers 2, aka Avengers Age of Ultron, is also going to have Quicksilver in it. Because he's... And it's kind of weird to have... Well, Quicksilver, usually when I think of... He's been on the X-Men and the Avengers. So he's kind of... Like Scarlet Witch is definitely... She's an Avengers character. She's usually on the Avengers, but Quicksilver kind of has been on both teams. And so if Age of Ultron, if they can top the Quicksilver in their movie, because the one in this movie really kind of steals the show. So I'd be surprised if Age of Ultron can do that. Would I recommend this movie? That depends on your fondness for the X-Men, for superheroes. If you can't get enough superheroes, then you've probably already seen this. I mean, you've already probably seen the movie, and I don't know why you're watching this. I guess just for entertainment. If you haven't seen the movie and you like the X-Men, yeah, go watch it. If not, if you're just tired of, if you don't like the X-Men, or if you're tired of superhero movies, this is one you could probably skip. It's not. It's good. I'd give it like a B, a B, maybe a B minus. It's good enough. And if you live for superheroes like I do, I really can't get enough of these movies. I mean, I know, well, it's not just me; it's the American public and maybe the world, because these movies do well internationally too. So really, everybody loves these superhero movies. Let's see. Yeah, I like the movie. See it if you want, if you're interested. I just started a movie blog. Well, the thing is, to do these video reviews, I have to type up notes. So I just to organize my thoughts so I don't get on here and just have nothing to talk about. So I figured if I'm going to bother typing them up on my computer, I might as well just edit them slightly and post them on a movie blog. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to have the link to my blog in the description. Although I want to warn you, most of the stuff I just said is in my review. So if it's kind of pointless, but if you like reading blogs, maybe you could just do that instead of watching the videos in the future. I'm going to try to anytime I review it, make a video out of it and post it on my blog, so you can have both options. But yeah, that's my review of X-Men Days of Future Past. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.